Hey, g'day guys, it's Hayden from HD Auto here. Today we got Ash's HZJ75 Series Toyota Landcruiser in for a dyno tune. Ash picked up one of our 1HZ turbo kits off us a couple months ago and he's gone home and fitted it all up himself and he's brought it in for a dyno tune. So I thought it'd be a perfect little opportunity to run through some results of what you can expect when you turbocharge your 1HZ with one of our turbo kits. Alrighty, so the beauty of these kits is that they are super simple to fit. Everything is all done on this side of the engine bay. So when you grab the kit, it comes with everything you need, like your inlet pipe, as well as your, your high pressure pipe, I guess you would say, that feeds into your engine off your turbo. So all these bits and pieces, they bolt straight up to your factory parts. Paired with that comes a new manifold. The manifold that we use for these kits is it's hidden under this heat shield here, which Ash has painted in black, keeping it nice and stealth. It's actually a genuine Toyota manifold. So a lot of the parts that we use in this kit are actually genuine Toyota parts, down to the exhaust manifold gaskets, the exhaust studs and nuts, the manifold. We combine that with one of our billet high flow CT26 turbochargers, which is obviously a direct bolt up onto that manifold. The beauty of that, it means that you can get off the shelf parts for your 75 series, 80 series, 105 series, whatever it is that you plan to turbocharge that has a 1HZ in it. None of it, absolutely none of it, needs custom fabrication whatsoever. So definitely a kit you can fit at home yourself. There's a lot of turbo options out there like that people want to try on their 1HZs. Like I'll use the HX30 whole set, for example. People fit them up at home and then they find that there's no exhaust pipe that fits, there's no inlet pipe that fits, and it all has to be custom made and custom fabricated. That is not the case with these kits. If you get a 105 series Landcruiser, you can get a CT26 style turbo back exhaust, and just bolt that straight on at home, no custom fabrication required. That's basically the hot side there. And as far as that goes, Ash has got himself a bit of a side exit 3-inch exhaust. Let's talk about results. Here we have our dyno runs before and after. So the vehicle came in on these blue lines here. So this is our torque graph and this is our power graph. This is actually with the turbo fitted obviously as well. Like we didn't do a run when it was NA. So this has probably got about, I'd say 15 horsepower over standard in it compared to what you would typically have in a naturally aspirated 1HZ. So kicking off at 86 horsepower and 250 newton meters of torque from the bat there. Josh here has been able to tune this car up to a nice safe 138 horsepower, just under 140, and 350 newton meters of torque. So over 100 newton meters of torque gained and 50 horsepower gained in power. It's not just the numbers that are impressive though, it's when those numbers are made, because if you can see here, the whole RPM range, we've got more power, a significant amount too, because if you look down here at below, let's pick 2000 RPM where we typically had 50 horsepower, we now have just under 100 horsepower. So that's nearly double the amount of power at 2000 RPM. Now if we look at torque, where we previously had 245 newton meters of torque at 2000 RPM, we're now producing 330 newton meters of torque at 2000 RPM. So if you can imagine how that would translate into driving, having owned these vehicles myself my whole life, I know we spend most of our time driving in this range here, and that's where we focus on improving the vehicle the most. It just so happens that due to the design of the turbocharger, they're so efficient, even from down low all the way to up top, that even if we want to rev that thing out to say like 3,700 RPM, we've still got this massive increase in power above 3,000 RPM. So previously, again, at 3 grand, where that car was making 83 horsepower, we're now producing 137 horsepower. Perfect for overtaking. So much power under your right foot there, considering what they come out with factory. And torque as well, it's not like they're super peaky and just fall over. The torque is really carried well right through the RPM range. So up top here previously where we would have only had, let's call it 200 newton meters of torque, we are now making well over 300 newton meters. and that's still at 3,000 RPM. And that's important to note that this is a very high flowing turbocharger. It's not going to put a ton of load on the engine down low and not be able to hold on to that up top. The goal with that is to keep your 1H head safe and performing really well in all scenarios. We don't want to put too much load on the engine just by turbocharging it. So that's why this particular turbo kit has been designed to perform exactly that way. 15 PSI, that's your number. You don't want any less. It is a diesel engine. They are designed for this. It's not going to harm the engine in any way by running 15 pounder boost. It does not work like a petrol engine. I think that's something people are gonna have to understand, and I would definitely be making a further in-depth video on that. Like I said, about 15, 16 PSI boost there, and that's met with a 20:1 AFR. So our AFR is our air fuel ratio. That's how we measure how much fuel we're actually putting into the engine combined with air. And we're looking to achieve a desirable result of 20:1. That's what we tune our non-intercooled 1H sheds to, especially if that person's gonna be doing a little bit of towing, loading up with camping gear, etc. Ash's car is a perfect example of this whole kit going perfectly well. I mean, the results they speak for themselves. Even on the dyno, it was a very, very straightforward situation. It meant that we were able to complete the tuning process in a matter of 2 or 3 runs. It didn't need to spend hours on the dyno. It didn't need to have back-to-back power runs, just trying to get every last little bit of power out of it. Due to the simplicity and efficiency of this design, we're able to complete it in, I think, looks like three runs on the dyno. As far as tuning goes, you are very limited. On a stock 1H shed, you have the fuel screw. That is it. On the later model 105s, you've got a bit more to work with, but it's not just the fuel screw full stop. We look at things like, is that engine getting the right amount of boost pressure? How's that exhaust system working? Is the air filter clean? Is the fuel system okay? Is the pump in a good condition, and so on? It's not just about wind her up and send her off you go. Ash has done a killer job on this thing, and it's come up perfectly. We've got no complaints at all. I think he's going to be stoked with the numbers. I bloody would be. So that pretty well wraps up our little 1H shed tour. Obviously, if you want to do this to your vehicle, get in contact with us today or jump on our website. It's hdautomotive.com.au. Obviously, if you want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe to our channel so you can stay in the loop about what's to come, because we're doing these nearly every day now. So it's a little movie studio in this workshop now. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.